Hello my YouTube viewers, how are you doing? Rachel here. So today we're cooking. I cooked some homemade biryani, lamb biryani. That's probably how you would say it if you were ordering it from an Indian restaurant or Middle Eastern. But here it is, and it's basmati rice, some red bell peppers, yellow onion. I spiced up the meat before I cooked it, and I put in the peppers and I put in the rice and the water and whatnot, and it's been cooking down for like an hour. It takes a while for all the water to be absorbed, and that's the goal. And then I'm gonna take my plate and I'm gonna put it on upside down. And I'm gonna set you guys up right here so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna take the pan and I'm gonna flip it. I know you guys have been waiting to see this for over an hour. So here it is, and then I just quickly flip it, and then it'll sit the meat on top of the bed of rice. Ready, set, go. Ooh, it's kind of heavy. I want to say it was a pound of ground lamb. And then there's still some at the bottom of the pan, so I'm gonna get a tool to get it out. But doesn't it look beautiful? Just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I've got my spatula from earlier that I'm not gonna use because I used it while my meat was not cooked. That kind of scares me. I actually went to the store, I ordered from the store earlier, and I got this vegan Caesar dressing because I was thinking about eggs. So today I'm being really cautious about any sort of weird viral stuff. Has anyone else seen that weird monkeypox is what I think they're calling it? Kind of scary. There's something adapted to our vaccines or whatnot. So anyways, I just want to be careful, make sure I don't get anything. So I'm gonna set this pan aside. It's a little bit too hot to just put in the sink because I still have my cutting board in there, so I don't want to melt the plastic. But here it is, my beautiful biryani. It's really hot. I love lamb in the spring. Lamb in the spring is the perfect time to purchase it. It's not just when it's a good time to get a new pet, like a new lamb if you want to keep a lamb as a pet, but then it becomes mutton if you ever change your mind. But this is the perfect time of the year to have it. We usually have it around Easter. It's an Easter holiday thing in my family. And then right now it's Memorial Day weekend. And in my hometown on Memorial weekend, the few days leading up to it, there's a huge fair. There's a parade and a lot of festivities, and the kids that raise animals, they sell them. They sell them to the market, and they sell them to different companies that want to do an investment in the local community. I used to do it when I was a kid. I raised pigs and sheep, and there was a year I tried to take chickens, but I didn't finish making my coop, and I thought that they were going to be okay. And then when I came back home, they had flown the half a coop that I had made, so I didn't take any chickens that year. And that was actually my senior year. I graduated early, so it was kind of inappropriate for me to still be a part of the club anyways. It was a high school club. So anyways, right now everybody's coming back from being at the parade last night, and the kids are pressing all their white clothes because they're gonna do a big presentation. They do an auction, and that's when the whole community comes out and they bid on the animals. And then the kids, a lot of them save up the money for college or cars, but it's typically a reinvestment every year. Maybe they need a new pen. They definitely use the finance to finance the following year, stuff like that. It's really a huge project, and it used to be a really big part of my life. I really wanted to go. My niece and nephew are young, 2 and almost 4. So if I had gone, I would have wanted to take them maybe this time, it's afternoon on Friday. This would be a good time to go see the animals when it's not too busy. The kids are just kind of cleaning the pens and hanging around. So it's a good time for kids to go by and meet a pig or a lamb or whatnot. But they do showmanship. They do so much. They have to keep washing and pressing their whites because it needs to be perfect. They're doing a big show where they get graded on their presentation. I got an award my first year. It's called Novice. When your first year you do very well, they call it the Novice Award. And I got it in pig showmanship. And then my pigs did well as well. So I have these old trophies that have pigs on them. I love them. And like, I always think it's funny to tell somebody about it, somebody who's not like part of FFA or somebody who doesn't know me very well. Like, I don't just have, you know, basketball and softball trophies. I've got pigs. I have pigs on the top of a trophy. Like I won pig or something. Which isn't too bad. I like the analogy of being Miss Piggy. Like one of my personas is Miss Piggy. I just love Kermit. This is so good. So we didn't have lamb this year. I probably haven't had lamb since 21 last year. And this is very delicious. Another way lamb is really good. It's like a hamburger, like a ham, but, well, it's not ham anyways, it's beef, but lamb. Lamb is really good as a hamburger and with mint jelly or cranberry sauce. So good. If it were like a good marketable animal in the fall or winter, I would want it in my holiday food. Like I would want it for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. It's one of my favorite holiday foods. But it's best around Easter, Memorial Day. So good. I didn't put too many spices in it. The last few times I've tried to make homemade Indian food, I didn't really care for the spice. Like I spiced it up too much, especially the spice clove. Today I only put like a pinch. But I think I put like a teaspoon in some saag that I made, which is mostly spinach, and it was just like, it just tasted like clove. Like I was eating like just a chunk of spice. So this one's kind of mild, but it's good. I think it's delicious, and the lamb is amazing. Fresh from the market. I didn't even put it in the refrigerator. Cooked it right away, and I think that's probably something that's a good idea for all of us these days with COVID. I know in the beginning, I was putting things in my pantry and making sure that I had plenty of things, that I didn't have to keep, you know, scavenging for certain stuff. And so I had things like a cup of soup, some crackers, Gatorades, different things that I can just like set aside. But when it comes to what I'm like really eating, I think it's important to like get it the day or the day before. I don't like the thought of things sitting around for a week. Even when I was younger, we used to have leftovers. Like sometimes I'd be so happy we had week-old Chinese food. Oh yay, we still have Chinese food. But I'm like, these days I don't want to do that, especially with the sicknesses going around. I know at the beginning of COVID, I was eating meat. I had started doing keto, and I was eating like a lot of meat, like meat every time I ate. And my dad ended up bringing me home because I have an apartment in San Francisco. My dad brought me home up north, just like 2 hours north of here. And he wanted to keep doing keto, and so I was learning different recipes, and so was he. So we were cooking different things for keto. But I did start getting concerned about the COVID situation and it being something that could be in the meat. And we all just don't know, like COVID's just a guessing game. But I feel pretty confident in like what's happening these days. I'm even wearing like, I hardly wear my mask anymore. I don't go very far. I'm almost always in my apartment building and I get orders sent to me rather than going out. But I think it's almost time to lighten up on a lot of the restrictions, like lighter than we have been. Just getting back to life. And then this pox thing that's becoming a common thing and it's everywhere. I don't think it's new. It's probably just us adapting to it. They say the flu takes like 2 weeks to show up. Like you can get it from a kid at school and then like 2 weeks later you get sick. And then days after your family might get sick because they finally got exposed to it. So it just takes time to work through your system, and sometimes you can just get sick out of nowhere, and it might be, you know, the same thing that you had a year ago, and maybe you didn't eat enough that day and so your body metabolized it. Maybe it's stored in your fat. Who knows? It's all a guessing game. But we really do need to think better, like in prayer sense. I know sometimes I get carried away with getting scared about certain things, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm thinking the opposite of what I would prefer to think, so why am I even giving it that kind of time and attention? But it's good to like take a minute, sit back, and instead of pointing at all our problems, try to think about a solution and sit on that and think about that. Like, make that song that's stuck in your head, you know? Anyways, I think I am going to package up some of this biryani. I'm probably gonna put some in the freezer in like, I think I probably have 3 meals there and then 1 here. So I think I'm gonna put it 1 in the fridge and 2 in the freezer. So in a couple weeks, if I want this again, I'll defrost it. That's what I've been doing lately when I've cooked. I'm not very good with like size recipe and like recipes in general. I guess I could have looked up a recipe and bought ingredients, but I just felt inspired and I wanted bell peppers and lamb, and so that's what I ended up making. But I almost always make too much. It's hard to just cook for one, and especially like getting things from the store, there's not a lot of packages to purchase where it's just for one. Kind of getting full. These are big pieces of meat. So I think I'm gonna turn this off, put my food away, and get back to social media stuff. Find me on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me as Rachel Diane Humphrey. And remember to like and subscribe. And I will see y'all later.